Well, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Happy New Year and welcome to 2024. I'll start the call the meeting to order at 9:30 a.m. and we'll start off with the territorial acknowledgement. Before our meeting gets underway, I would like to formally recognize the traditional keepers of this land and specifically our neighbors of the Alderville First Nation with a formal territorial acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge the township of Allen-McCullum is located on the Mississaugan-Ashaninbeg territory and is the traditional territory of the Mississaugan-Ashaninbeg. The township of Allen-McCullum respectively acknowledges that the Mississaugan Nation are the collective stewards and caretakers of these lands and waters in perpetuity, and that they continue to maintain this responsibility to ensure their health and the integrity for generations to come. I'll remind everybody of the procedural bylaw and its definition. The procedural bylaw identifies how and when members of the public may take part in a council meeting. Regular council meetings are open to the public and they are encouraged to attend. To speak at a regular meeting, a request for delegation form must be submitted to the clerk. These forms are available at our website. Public meetings are open to the public. They allow members of the public to address council without the need to pre-register their request. An example of a public meeting is a planning meeting where land use planning applications are reviewed and council seeks input from the public. And closed sessions. They may occur during a closed meeting, council meeting to discuss confidential matters as identified in the Municipal Act under section 239. Members of the public are not permitted in these meetings. We'll move on to item 3, which is a moment of silence for our fallen soldiers and citizens. Thank you. Item 4, disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof. Seeing none. Moving on to item 5, the agenda for Tuesday, January 9th, 2024. Be it resolved that the agenda of the regular council session of Tuesday, January 9th, 2024 be approved as amended to include 2 additional items. Item 10.1, a resolution regarding a special council meeting to be held on January 25th, and item 11-1, correspondence regarding the Community Safety and Policing Act of 2019. And I'd like to just make one little comment to that. I have to leave at 11 o'clock this morning. I would like to be here for the item number 13, which is Mary Catherine's notice of motion. So I'm going to kind of take that by ear, but basically, if we aren't there by 10:30, I think we'll move to take that on. And then Joan, you can finish up the meeting if you would, please.
Yes, thank you.
All in favor? Oh, you haven't moved in a second. Moved by Deputy Mayor Stover and second by Councillor Ainsworth. All in favor? Motion's carried. Item 6.1 is the regular council session minutes of July 4th, 2023. Be it resolved that the regular council session minutes of July 24th, 2023 be approved. Mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor O'Neill and seconded by Councillor Booth. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion's carried. Item 7, business arising from the minutes. Are there any business? Go ahead, Mary Catherine.
There was a motion passed regarding investigation and report for the NATV Club and the Oak Ridges Trail Moraines and the agreements we have with them. And at the time, staff thought they could have it done in 6 months, but we've had a lot of changes in staff. So I don't want that to get lost. And I'm wondering if staff has a new timeline that we might be looking at for that.
Do you have a comment, Dave?
Yeah, through you, Mayor Logo. I do have some information on this, and it's something that I would have to discuss in closed if you wanted to go there.
Well, we should have a report on it anyways, I think, if for an update. And we could have that closed. It's not something we need to do right now, so we can.
No,
schedule
I'm
for
just
another
looking
closed
for a
session.
timeline.
Thank you. Any other comments? I have one too, Dave, and it's regarding the master and community risk assessments. Have those been completed yet, or will we be seeing a report soon?
So the community risk assessment is pretty well finished. There was a little bit of delay with getting a little bit of information. And the master fire plan is in its final stages. We've been meeting every week. And I meet with them again on Thursday.
Thank you. Moving on to item 8. This is the building permit summary for December of 2023. And I guess Nick's not going to be here, so I'll read the resolution. Oh, he is online. Okay. Yep. Be resolved, the council of the township of Alma-Calderman received the building permit summary December 23 report dated January 9th, 2024 from CBO MBEO Nick Hornweg for information. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Ainsworth, seconded by Deputy Mayor Stover. Any questions, comments, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Oh, sorry, Mike.
Yeah, through you, Mayor. I just wondered if we could have another column here for permits pending.
Nick, you want to comment on that? Did you hear the question?
Yeah, through you, Mayor. That would be the third line down in that report. Number of building permits being processed at 38.
Okay.
Okay, Mike.
Yep. Thank you.
Any further questions or comments? All in favor? Motion's carried. Next, we have the Public Works Department report. Be it resolved, the council of the township of Alma-Calderman received the Public Works Department update report dated January 9th, 2024. Mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Booth, seconded by Councillor Ainsworth. Any questions or comments? Go ahead.
Through you, Mayor. I just wondered if we can add maybe to their checklist there, the upkeep for the facilities, you know, is the wash station, you know, all the put together there, that kind of stuff. Has there been any issues? Is there like housekeeping plus health and safety tours?
You want to comment? Susan, did you have a comment?
Yes, sorry, through you, Mayor. Yes, we can add that in for you.
I think you said we could add that in for you.
Yes, through you, Mayor, we can add that in for you.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
go ahead, Dave.
Thank you, Mayor Logo. Through you, I'd like to comment on that. So Councillor Ainsworth, that is something that we can add to the list, but it's very much characteristic of management and what is required and what the crews are being asked to do. So as an update, the wash bay is in full operation. A power washer, an industrial power washer was purchased to be used in that wash bay. I was there at the roads department yesterday and was witnessing trucks being washed and cleaned. And that the facility is being looked after, swept up. The outside parking lot's being swept, things are being cared for. So that is now a staple at the roads department and something that you can expect moving forward.
Awesome, thank you.
And I'm really glad to hear that we've done that, Dave, because with asset management, we're going to be pushed to take our equipment out to the last possible date. And if we're washing it on a regular basis, keeping the salt down, I think you'll be able to achieve some of those objectives. Go ahead, Councillor Booth.
Yes, through your worship, maybe to Dave or Susan. We talk about the speed data equipment and the trainings completed and the flashing signs. Is it possible in the future reports, could we have the location maybe for that month of where they were so that we know something just to show us as council that maybe where the speeding signs were put or something so that we know as a councillor if people phone and say, you know, I don't know, Bevan Ridge, they wanted it there, and you can say, well, I recall, I've seen it's already been there once or whatever.
Yeah, I've got, can I add on
Yeah.
a little bit to your comment? My thought was that we should have a standard practice for how that's being used. And by that, I mean, we draw up where it says, who's requested it, where it's being put, how long it's been there, why it's been there, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that information would be passed on to council. We're going to get a lot of requests for it, I'm sure. In fact, I got one that I received last week. Vernon Road between County Road 2 and the new stop sign is apparently where people raced along there. So if we can get, I'm not suggesting we put that there first, but I know we're going to get lots of requests, and I believe that it was well purchased or a good purchase, and I think we should be using that on a continuous basis. And I don't know, Dave, if you've got somebody that's going to look after that specifically, or have you thought of that yet?
Thanks, Mayor Logo. Susan, that's something that we could record through Mesh and then hand out as a work order to get the data back. Would that be correct?
Yes, I believe we can do that. So if we want to put in like each week or whatever where something is going, then we can do it through there and then report back on the details that we get from each of those locations.
Thanks, Susan. And is the data downloadable from the machines? Can we?
So it would come from the machines, go into the laptop that we have here, and the information's all downloaded into that.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other further questions or comments regarding Public Works? All in favor? Motion's carried. Next, we have on the agenda, a special council meeting proposed for Thursday, January 25th, 2024. I'll read the resolution. Whereas the Township of Allen-McCalderman has a planning council meeting scheduled for January 24th, 2024. And whereas the meeting falls on the same day as the Northumberland County Council meeting, be it resolved that the deputy clerk notify the public that a special meeting will be held on January 25th, 2024 to consider township business. And further be it resolved, the January 24th council meeting will be held to consider land use planning business and previously scheduled delegations and presentations. Can I get a mover and a seconder for that? Moved by Deputy Mayor Stover, seconded by Councillor Ainsworth. Any questions? All in favor? Motion's carried. Thank you, Nancy. Next, we have correspondence regarding the Community Safety and Policing Act of 2019. Be it resolved, the Council of the Township of Allen-McCalderman received the correspondence from the Ministry of the Attorney General dated December 18th, 2023 regarding the Community Safety and Policing Act of 2019 for information. And further, be it resolved that the acting CAO advised council at a future meeting regarding next steps, given that the township entered into a 3-year policing agreement on January 1st, 2024, which will end once the Community Safety and Policing Act of 2019 comes into force on April 1st, 2024. Mover and a seconder. Moved by moved by Councillor O'Neill and seconded by Councillor Booth. Any questions, comments? It's pretty clear. I guess I'll make the one comment. We are moving forward to a new policing system here in Northumberland County. And instead of having all the police services boards under one or each having individual ones, will all be working under the same board. Just to keep everybody informed. And you'll be getting more information as that comes out. All in favor? Carried. Next one is enforcement of cross connections / backflow prevention devices. Approving the set fines. Whereas the Council of the Township of Alma-Calderman consider bylaw 38, 2023 from Northumberland County being a bylaw to enforce cross connections and protected with backflow prevention devices. And whereas Councillor Greg Booth is the council appointee to the Communal Water Committee in Grafton, and I believe the chair. And also that a deputy mayor sits on there as well. Not that that matters, but at least it's going to the chair. Be it resolved, the council directed deputy clerk to include the Northumberland County bylaw on the next meeting agenda of the Communal Waters Committee Grafton for the committee's information. I get a mover and a seconder for this. Moved by Councillor O'Neill, seconded by Deputy Mayor Stover. Any questions or comments? Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
I just wonder if the other appointee should be noted on this as well,
Yeah.
should it? Okay, good, thank you.
Go ahead, Councillor Ainsworth.
Through you, Mayor. So when I was reading this here, I was wondering if there's going to be a phase-in period, and I'm wondering if there's any of our businesses that would have to put this protection valve in, and plus us with the arena. So the other thing that I wondered is there should we have our own bylaw along with the county bylaw?
I don't know what answer to that.
Okay.
We can investigate that, find out, that's for sure.
Yeah.
This only affects businesses.
Yeah.
But
pretty
it
much.
only affects people in the Grafton Communal Water
Mhm.
area. But we can check out, I guess, with other municipalities, because they all receive the same information and see if they're putting out their own individual one as well. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, this is the advantage of having a committee that can focus on these questions.
Good point.
Because there's some set fines there, so I think we probably need some like leadway into coming into this.
That's a good point.
Right.
Because we have to approve those fines. Although we don't send them out, do we? Would we, or does the county send them out? Go ahead, Greg.
Would Nick not be able to comment on that? He would know, right? I mean,
Perhaps does.
we do things like that with septic and everything through Northumberland County, so
I don't think he's there anymore. Is he?
we'll bring it up at the water committee and Lucy
Okay.
will be there too, and we'll talk about it, and then me and Joan can get back to us at the next meeting.
Perfect. Go ahead, Dave.
Through you, Mayor, I think that the water committee, I think somebody should investigate this, and I think that should be the next step that we go. Backflow prevention is a smart program. But with respect to our liability and whether we should be creating a bylaw, should be discussed with Lucy as our provider for sure.
So do you want to, no, we don't have to amend it because you were going to sending it back to the water committee and we'll expect them to review it.
Yeah.
All in favor? Motion's carried. Our next one is regarding the Canada Emergency Business Account Loan Business. That the Council of the Township of Alma-Culdeman received the resolution from the City of Stratford regarding Canada Emergency Business Account, CEBA, loan businesses for information. Mover and seconder. Moved by Deputy Mayor Stover, seconded by Councillor Booth. Any comments, questions, discussions? Pretty straightforward. All in favor? Carried. Next, we have a council resolution 11-4, and it's regarding provincial cemetery management support request. Whereas the Council of the Township of Alma-Culdeman consider the resolution from Tahee Township regarding a request for provincial cemetery management support. Be it resolved, the council hereby provides its support, and further be it resolved, the council direct the deputy clerk to send a copy of this resolution to MPP David Pacini, Minister of Labor, Immigration, Training and Skills Development, and the Ministry of Public and Business Services Delivery, and the Bereavement Authority of Ontario, and all Ontario municipalities. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor O'Neill, seconded by Councillor Ainsworth. Any discussion? Go ahead.
So we already have the cemetery care happening, but it's actually happening in two parts because Heritage has the heritage cemeteries, and then we have the active cemeteries, and then we had that request for a crematorium. No, sorry, that's not what it was. Somewhere to put it.
I can't think.
Anyway, there's a number of things floating out here, so I do think this is needed because right now by default, it's just landing on our desk without any supports provided.
Are you talking? I'm not sure what you mean by that.
I think we should support this
Yes.
resolution because we are, over time, the municipality is being given more and more and more cemeteries to look after, and there's going to be more in the future as churches close. So it's an ongoing concern for us.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? All in favor? Motion's carried. Next resolution is regarding the AMO watch file newsletters. That the Council of the Township of Alma-Culdeman received the December 14th and 21st, 2023 AMO newsletters for information. Mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Ainsworth. Second by Councillor O'Neill. Any questions or comments regarding these? All in favor? Motion's carried. Next we have item 12. And this is a notice of motion that was provided on December 19th, 2023. Request for report from acting CAO / and chief building official and senior planner. And the mover is Mary Catherine O'Neill, councillor. And I'll read the resolution and then we'll get a seconder and then we'll go on from there. Whereas the Township of Alma-Culdeman supports the Northumberland County Affordable Housing Strategy, which includes a target of 3 units per year for a total of 12 units during this term of council. And whereas the township is aware of having residents living in underhousing situations, including in seasonal trailers year-round, and whereas the township is aware of the challenges our seniors have in downsizing within their community. And whereas there is a demand for affordable housing for farm workers and other residents. Be it resolved that the council direct the acting CAO, the senior planner, the treasurer, and the chief building official to prepare a report on how the township can positively address these needs, which could include, but not limited to, reviewing existing facilities and properties to identify those that may be suitable to meet the needs of the Northumberland County Housing Corporation, review current zoning and other regulations to identify benefits and challenges to allow year-round mobile homes within boundaries of existing public parks and private resorts, review zoning and any other regulations to potentially allow duplexes, triplexes, and quadruplexes throughout the municipality, review zoning and other regulations to potentially allow for smaller lot sizes in rural areas and identify potential partnerships and funding sources. And further be it resolved that all options should be included a discussion of costs, benefits, and long-term challenges and impacts. And further that council encourage and support the formation of a local community group to network and share ideas on affordable housing options in our community. So it's been moved by Mary Catherine. Need a seconder, please? Seconded by Councillor Ainsworth. Mary Catherine, you have the floor.
All right, as all of you know, this is a huge issue for our community and every community. It's interesting that I did share this motion with people that have been talking to me in the past about housing. So I solicited some responses, but I also have received a number of unsolicited responses. People do want to talk about this issue. The other two more things I think to keep in mind, we do have the intermunicipal committee, and they are going to be looking at trying to do these things jointly. So to some degree, we're identifying things that I then take back to the committee that they can say, yes, let's work together on whatever piece these are. And I know one, it doesn't apply to us, but one of the things that's already come is the height of buildings, but that wouldn't apply to us. But maybe one of these do, and then we're working so that it's not like the STRs where everybody's in their own trying to create multiple bylaws, but rather work cohesively to share ideas. And the last thing is I actually envision this as sort of a process that we're entering into here. So these are some ideas that I had that I've brought forward. And as I said, other people have contributed to these ideas. But maybe you guys as staff have some good ideas as well of things that I haven't included that you say make sense. Maybe we need to change the house sizes for minimum house size, for example. Anyway, in the first bit, which ones make sense that we can just go ahead on our own to act upon, which things maybe need to go to this committee where we work jointly with our neighbors, and which things really aren't very practical at all. And you guys are the experts, so you'll let us know and help inform us, because as counselors, we want to make informed decisions. And then in terms of the public meeting, there's a lot going on already, and there's a lot of little pockets all around of people. It would be nice to bring everybody in the community to one location so we're aware of what other groups are doing. And you know, ideally, I envision something like the success of Haldeman Court, which has been a huge success over its 40 years, and that was the community coming together. So what can we in 2024, 2025 accomplish just similar, not similar necessarily, but in the same way that they came together to address the problem? How do we come together now to address it?
Thanks, Mary Catherine. Any other questions or thoughts? Go ahead, Councillor Booth.
Through you, your worship, maybe to Mary Catherine or somebody, just for clarification. It talks about review of current zoning and other regulations to identify benefits and challenges to allowing year-round mobile homes within boundaries of existing public parks. So are they talking about allowing mobile homes in public parks?
Sorry, that was, I asked, and maybe our planner could help me with this one. This was actually, the wording of that was from a retired planner, so I thought it would have something, because I didn't have public and I do not have any, I'm not envisioning that it is in public parks, but I assumed it had some sort of, meaning for planners, so I left it there.
Maybe Tracy or somebody could explain it. Are we talking about Centerton Park allowing people to just set up trailers and tents, or is it? Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, that. I wouldn't think that.
so Nancy, would we strike that out or would we change that if we allow this to go through? Because somebody could read it as a public park
Thank
or
you.
amend it.
Thank you through you, Mayor Local. If Councillor O'Neill, as the mover and Councillor Ainsworth wanted to change that, we will just do that for the final resolution.
I mean, we can do that. On the other hand, we're just asking for a report and they can just, it does clearly say there that it's at their, whatever they feel is, all options could include, no, I'm looking at the wrong part, but, but not be limited to. So I do think it's covered above where they could include, but not limited to. That would cover, they can say it doesn't mean anything, but I also wondered if it might have something to do with access and why it was put in there. That was the only reason I could come up with that.
Mike, you have a comment?
Yeah, through you, Mayor. I also have some issues with this, although I think it's a good idea. And I'm wondering at this point if we should maybe defer this and maybe sit down with a couple of councillors and our planning.
Talking, Mike, just to clarify, are you talking about the report in general, or are you talking
Well,
about this?
Like, to me, I would just like to see this deferred right now, but take this information with a couple of councillors and staff and see if we can put something together that's not going to commit us to something that we can't do.
Okay.
And maybe fix all this wording up and moving
fine.
forward.
Okay, I'd like to comment first of all on the public parks. I know there has been times where there's been people who park with the trailer down at the ball diamonds. They're usually there for the weekend, but I believe they're asked to leave rather than use it as a park. And it also happens occasionally down at Wicklow Beach. And I don't think those parks, they're public parks, but certainly the sanctuary could be considered probably a public park as well too. And I don't think we want that to be taking part in trailers and for the weekends and that type of stuff. Manual. Yep.
Sorry, I think I would just like to intervene and bring it back to the topic at hand. Number one, Councillor Ainsworth, if you're talking about deferring a motion, you've already seconded the motion. So that will have to be addressed through Nancy. And number two, we're talking about a housing motion. We're not talking about camping or other. So if we strike the public parks aspect of it, that's fine. But I would like to bring us back to the issue, which is housing specifically. And I think that if we stay on topic, that would be great.
Here, Catherine?
Thank you. I appreciate that comment. I also had that. That's precisely what I'm asking for, Councillor Ainsworth, is to gather information. Because if we start talking as councillors now without getting the staff, they're the professionals, they know what is the most practical. And then we have that discussion once we have input from them.
Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
Through your Mayor Local, I concur with Councillor O'Neill, and I'm excited to listen to our staff to see what they propose, and maybe because we don't have sewers and things like that. But we have town water. If we're looking at the hamlet, maybe smaller lot sizes. So I'm excited to listen to what is
Mm.
available and what we could pull off here.
Thank you. Any further comments? I've got one. I agree that we can and we should be doing something about housing. I'm not sure that, I think we do have to go to our experts and let them tell us what we do, because to try and or do all those 5 different things would be, I think, a tremendous workload to do them properly. And so I'm going to pass it on to Tracy and Nick and see what they think. Would you like to comment?
Yeah, so, yeah, it does. Feel the fact. If you would, you just have. And we, you know, that we probably rely on other experts, like, that offer. The Northern County, like, when you look, when you talk about. I know there's technology out there, but our. I think there's a lot more that needs to be put into than what we may be able to achieve. House with people have. Those who think that meet the requirements. Yeah, I think there's, you have to look at it.
Go ahead, Mayor Calvin.
And this is meant to be step 1 of that. And I do recognize it will be a multi-year process to address the housing issue, but we need to start somewhere. And the first thing I think we need is a report that says, well, this is the most practical places to start.
Nick, do you have a comment?
No, I mean, it would be a tremendous workload for both of us. It would be a tremendous workload. I would recommend, a consultant or a company or group of consultants to be able to evaluate if they're. Yeah.
Thank you. Dave, you have a comment?
I do, through your mail, Ogle. Tracy, what time frame could we put on to come back with a report? I could work with you on this. Based on what is in this motion, could we come back with 3 suggestives and what the process would be that we would have to take to make those 3 items work, and then council could choose from that? Would it be fair to say a month, 2 months? And I'm not talking about a very in-depth report. What I'm talking about is something from the high side that we can say, okay, if we were to allow rezoning for duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes, what would our steps be that we would have to take to do that? So I think this would, for me, would be a little bit of a brainstorming meeting that we could write these down and then present that back as a report. So what would be a fair timeline?
Or just to get the current work. Probably target March.
Okay. Would that be acceptable?
I think that makes
That's-
sense. We've
that's-
got budget in between, so.
We've got lots of stuff to do and they're doing it. And this is, as Mary Catherine said, this is not an overnight. We don't want a 5-minute solution. We want to take a look at the whole situation, see what's would fit best for the township, and see if we can't get some more housing planned and in place for people that need that assistance. Everybody happy with that? So we'll make the amendment to the proposal and I guess if that's okay with you, Mary Catherine, saying that we expect a report back from the planning department at the regular March meeting. You happy with that, Mary Catherine?
I wonder would it make sense the second one in March, since that's the planning meeting anyway? Okay.
Well, that's the one.
The second one
Yeah.
in March, yeah, the planning meeting.
You okay with that, Councilor Ainsworth?
Yeah, how's that gonna read? What we're gonna do?
Did you ask for the date or how was it?
No, how's that gonna read to where we're gonna move forward with this? Are we gonna
My
defer it
understanding
and
is-
rewrite it, or we going to make changes here now?
My understanding of it is that we're going to ask staff to review those 5 different ones, pick out 3 that they think is feasible to start with. Come back with a report at the March planning meeting. And then council will review and make a decision from there. Is that what you thought? Good. Okay, so she's gonna put that in. Into the
Okay.
motion. Is that okay with you, Mike?
Yeah,
Sure, I'm just looking for a high level report. I don't think we need to be giving any more detail than that. I mean, they've heard our thinking on it, but in terms of the way the motion's reading, I think it's that we're looking for a high level report.
For you, Mayor, may I just read that and
Yeah, sure.
see if it's all right? I won't go through the entire motion. So the last clause would read, and further that the acting CAO and the senior planner prepare a report for the March 26, 2024 council meeting, reviewing the specifics of the notice of motion and providing high-level suggestions to move forward for council's consideration.
Yes, that suits my intentions here.
You okay with that, Mike?
Yep.
Further discussion? All in favor? Motion's carried. Announcements, okay. Moving on to announcements. Okay, I guess I'm the first. Well, thank you, Nick, Tracy, thank you very much for coming. I have a couple things that I should want to mention. First of all, it was a long holiday and I'm happy to be back to work. Which I'm sure everybody else is going to agree with that as well, but I do have a couple of things that I would like to discuss or mention. We did attend a levy at the Legion, the 2024 levy, and I thought it was pretty well attended. We talked about a lot of different things, the accomplishments that we had in the past year and some of the opportunities we have for 2024. I was glad to see members of council there as well. Second thing, I have had radio interviews with 3 different radio stations over the last 10 days. One of them was to do with, as I mentioned, 2023, 2024, what our plans are, or what our accomplishments as well as our plans. And the other 2 were actually to do with the arena and what our plans for that as well. And of course, I just brought them up to date and said, you know, we've had a public meeting, we've got some, sent out some surveys and we've got some of them back. We don't know the details of that, but we'll be discussing that at our next council meeting, I believe, on the 25th. Okay, and the one other thing that I did want to mention, I know that the town crier, Mr. Craig, has announced that he will retire. Is that at the end of the year? Does anybody know for that for sure?
I think the term, council term, I think.
Is it council term?
I believe. I thought it was this year.
I'm-
Oh, okay. Is it this year?
Mary Catherine, do you have a comment?
Yes, I did reach out to him. I saw that post as well. So officially it is at the end of this term, but he is hoping that it might be sooner,
Okay,
unfortunately for us. Or I'm sure we'll get someone good too, but
yeah,
he's been fabulous.
he has been very, very good, and it's been he likes doing it. People like him doing it too, so. And I agree, there will be somebody there, but and we probably should be, I don't know if we want to post for it yet, but it's probably something we should be making to the public, so he does get a chance to work with that person. In my opinion, but anyways, go ahead, Mary Catherine.
I believe that we already did discuss supporting him doing that at a previous meeting when that came forward with the minutes from Heritage. We did say we would support his efforts to find a replacement.
Okay, so he's going kind of on his own?
He's in contact, obviously, with staff here,
Yeah.
but he's not expecting them to do the work. He's going to do it.
Yeah, and of course, it has to come to council before that would be put into place, so. That's all I have. Deputy Mayor Stover.
Well, it's nice to be back as well as what you have said, Mayor Logal. Really have much to add. Wish Nancy well. Gonna be big boots to fill over there. So anyway, you're not very far away. And that's all. I don't have anything else to add. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Ainsworth.
Yeah, through you, Mayor. So I want to thank Lysandra Waldy for putting on that New Year's Eve party and dance. It was well attended, well run. Food was great. Everybody had a great time. And it was something just good for the community to get people out. So she did a great job putting that together, and I'm sure she had help to do that. But I know she did a lot of it. So it was a great time and great for the community.
Thank you. Mayor Catherine.
None at this time.
Councillor Booth.
Yeah, through you, your worship. You stole my thunder about the New Year's Eve levy, which was good. And the food, of course, is always good at the Legion. So that was good. And just to remind councillors and probably the public there that the Grafton Legion on Saturday, February the 17th is having the public speaking contest. So I'm sure the deputy mayor loves that when she's a judge. It's the public speaking contest, part of the Legion's youth and education program that is meant to give young people an opportunity to be comfortable speaking to the public.
That's good. Yeah.
So try and save that date if you can.
February 17th.
The 17th, yep, from 12 till 4. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. This is the confirming bylaw. Be it resolved that bylaw number 012024 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the regular session of council held on January 9th, 2024 be read and deemed passed this 9th day of January 2024. Mover and a seconder. Moved by Deputy Mayor Stover, seconded by Councillor O'Neill. And all in favor? Motion's carried. And the final one is item 15. Motion to adjourn. Be it resolved, the regular session of council of Tuesday, January 9th, 2024 be adjourned at 10:18. Mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Ainsworth, seconded by Councillor Booth. All in favor? Motion's carried. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you on the 24th.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.